I want to ask you a very significant question, and you could go ahead and drop your answer in the comments below. Are you allowing for a new earth to unfold, or are you resisting by hanging on to an old idea of what new earth should look like? That's a very profound question. We are in an amazing time right now where a jackhammer is being taken to the old paradigm, the old reality, the old way of being, an old power structure that was keeping you small, keeping you limited, keeping you a victim, meaning that you had separated yourself from the very fact that you are a limitless, empowered, multidimensional being. All of that is being obliterated right now. And I use these very strong terms just to get across the point that we are in this phase, this transition phase, where the old is being exposed. Now, whatever side you're on really isn't relevant here. The point is that in order for the old to fall away, that which was unconscious needs to become conscious. And when that happens, that could threaten your very existence, your very reason for being, your idea of what this reality should look like. Now remember, those ideas are based on this expectation of how you thought this transition to a new earth was going to unfold. And I'm here to tell you, despite what anybody says out there online, nobody knows what this journey is going to look like. If we knew, and that includes me, if I knew what this journey was going to look like, what would be the point? My Pleiadian guide has told me numerous times that we are on this amazing ascension path, but not to have expectations on how certain events are going to unfold. Just sit back and trust that everything is happening for our highest good. And that's what I've done. And now I am realizing that things that she had told me years and years ago, 5, 6 years ago, are now starting to make their way into reality, meaning the old power structures are being cracked open. Remember that virtual jackhammer, for everybody to see what was going on beneath the surface. Okay? There's a certain element of comfort in not knowing, right? Because again, when you know, when you see things that were previously unseen, that could rock your very foundation. And that gives rise to an amazing opportunity right here for you, the light worker, for you, the star seed, for you, the multidimensional being, to be able to anchor in to the unknown. That is a tremendously powerful opportunity. And I ask you this, can you move forward? Can you put your frustration, can you put your anger, can you put your anxiety into a perspective of knowing that these were the things that were keeping you anchored to a lower frequency timeline? These emotions, when we're focused into a timeline that is disempowering and we feel like we're being taken care of externally, that can make you tend to feel safe in something external as protecting you, excuse me, or saving you. But when then that very foundation starts to get challenged and starts to get rocked, the external element of safety, of comfort, the things that you have placed those emotions into, starts to dissolve. And now you start to look elsewhere externally for these things to keep you safe, right? So you don't have to feel like a victim. Well, what's really happening is the old is falling away. There's no longer anything to grasp onto externally to find these empowered emotions. Okay, and that gives rise to anxiety. So you're being asked to look in the place that maybe you haven't been looking at or looking into for most of your life, right? Maybe since you were a little child. and that is turning inward. When you turn inward and detach from what's happening externally, and you start to seek safety within you, you start to seek comfort and empowerment within you, something amazing happens. You start to be able to see the movie for what it is. It's a movie, and it doesn't have that control over you that you once thought it had. Okay? It can't, because it's falling apart. The reason it's falling apart is because you are being guided inward to realize that all the things that you were seeking externally can be found within. Everything outside is just a manifestation of that energy. So when we see these old paradigms fall away, these old power structures start to crumble, what's truly happening is these limiting beliefs that we had are starting to fall away and starting to crumble. Your higher self is just simply creating an opportunity for you to turn inward and reconnect with those things inside. They were there the whole time. They were just being blocked by these limiting beliefs. This society has set you up to fail over and over again in terms of finding your strength within. You are being directed, or were being directed, to look externally for those things, to rely on external institutions to provide those things for you. And you were told that that would give you an element of safety. Well, that element of safety is foundationless, because once those old paradigms start to crumble away, the sense of safety, the sense of peace goes with it, right? Then you're going to realize that maybe it wasn't there at all this whole time. I just had this false narrative playing, this false belief that I needed these external things to feel whole. Well, that's part of the unfolding of the new. The new you and the new earth is coming forward now. And in order for that to happen, we need to go through these awakening periods, these periods of darkness, these periods of confusion, these periods of unknown, as the old idea of what reality is supposed to be falls away. We can't bring a new forward without destroying the old. And again, I use these terms, destroying, because when we look at it through the human lens, we see that's what's happening. The old ways of operating are falling apart. They're crumbling. That is a reflection of our old ways of being energetically undergoing a massive shift. We are becoming more empowered as a collective. Humanity is taking their power back. They are no longer willing to give it up for a false sense of safety and security, because that no longer resonates. That no longer serves, because we are seeing that that wasn't a truth. You may have believed it was a truth at the time because the unseen was hidden from you, right? You're only shown what they wanted you to see. But now that is crumbling, and you have the ability to find all of these things within you. Breathe it into the body. Find that sense of safety by anchoring it in to your root chakra. Find your sense of empowerment by bringing it to the solar plexus. Find a loving, compassionate space by bringing it into the heart space. These are the opportunities that are being presented to you now. Again, everything that's happening externally is just a manifestation of that process. But when we're looking at things from the human condition, the external reality seems to be the cause. And what we're feeling inside seems to be the effect. But in fact, it's the very opposite. You are being moved energetically, internally by your higher self. As your energy rearranges and parts of you that were unconscious wake up and become conscious, that reflects out into reality. And right now it's manifesting as an old system crumbling, right? The virtual jackhammer is obliterating an old system. And it's happening in alignment with the energy of the people. The people are ready and willing to take their power back and manifest those around them who are willing to facilitate with that. And that's exactly what's happening right now. You may like it, you may not like it, but know that for the old to fall away, for a new earth to manifest, this energy needs to be reclaimed internally. You need to become conscious of what's been unconscious for years, for decades, for centuries, so that humanity as a whole can awaken and manifest a new earth. For that to happen, the old that's been occupying that space needs to crumble.